Good evening. Welcome to Choices Podcast Official.com or Choices Podcast. We've been doing it now for 8 months. We love it. We're growing like a weed. We got great guests lined up to come visit on our show. We have Dr. Lee who's coming back to tell us how to live a whole life with Eastern medicines instead of Western medicines. That's going to be cool. Going to learn about red light therapy and chamber oxygen and I don't know, maybe plastic surgery. I don't know. Dr. Lee's a cool dude. Also, we're going to have Maury Davis come. He's a pastor out of Nashville. His story's incredible. Incredible. And he'll be on April 1st. So welcome to our show. I hope you're having a good week. We got Carcass John. Carcass, how you doing?
I'm doing all right, all things considered.
Oh, good.
And I'm really enjoying retirement, by the way.
Good.
If you can do it, I highly recommend it, just for the fact that I have a couple hours every morning to hit the gym.
That's good.
Yep.
It tells me a lot. I got to keep working out, man. Working out is good.
Keep slinging that iron.
Tonight's show is on mindfulness, which is going to be cool because what does that even mean? Mindfulness. We'll get into the definition here in a minute. But Carcass, you want to give us a good lyric and song for mindfulness?
Well, this is I'm going to give my good friend Joe Copeland a shout out. Tom Petty is his favorite artist, and this goes out to you, Joe. It's going to be another hard night. You want to take it all alone. You want to face up to the trouble. You want to face up to your soul. And baby, you can have it any way you want it. You just get a little lost from time to time. Sometimes it gets a little crazy somewhere down inside. But you can still change your mind. You can still change your feelings. And you can still change your mind. Everybody wants all the world can give them. Everybody wants to get all they can get. Everybody's waiting on something that hasn't come yet. And you can hide it for a little while. And you can try and just lose it for a while. Then it's going to go do something to you somewhere down the inside. And then it repeats the chorus. But you can still change your mind. You can change your feelings. You can still change your mind. I think part of being mindful is understanding your own feelings. And, the old adage, the golden rule, treat others as you want to be treated. I think it's sometimes, and I know society in general is very selfish and very self-centered and self-absorbed. And as much as we should get to know ourselves and understand ourselves, I think that we should take that knowledge and get to know others and be aware that that we're not here alone and we can help each other. That's why you and I started doing this podcast, because we thought, we could help each other or we could help a whole bunch of people. So I just thought that was kind of an interesting juxtaposition of the word. You can always change your mind, and you can always change your mind to be mindful.
mindfulness. The definition of mindfulness is awareness of one's internal states and surroundings. Mindfulness can help people avoid destructive or automatic habits and responses by learning to observe their thoughts, emotions, and other present moment experiences without judging or reacting to them. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, don't you think it's important that we understand, um, not only we understand ourselves, but we understand others? I mean, like I said, I think it helps us appreciate, as Mark mentioned, it helps us appreciate the small things. And there's no all at once in life. And it's pennies make dollars.
You know, I think it's about doing things different than what you're doing. And like being mindful is like being present. You know what I mean? And
Well,
my mind, I used to let my mind wander too easily. And when I was a prosecutor, I tried so many cases. I trained my mind to treat everybody as a witness, so that when they were talking, I'd cross-examine them on where I wanted them to go. And I had to untrain myself to really listen to people unconditionally. And I think that's what it's talking about, being present with how you're feeling, right? Your emotions, guilt, anger, fear. Uh, you can throw joy and peace in there because they're feelings too. But it's also like stopping and doing like meditation. You ever meditate, Carcass?
all the time.
Do you
I think
really?
it's part of uh, the ponder, pray, and thought process. I think meditation helps us hear the answers that we ask for.
I do this weird thing, Carcass. Don't tell anybody.
Well, you're just about to tell the whole world, but go ahead.
No, Carcass. It's like I I like to go to spin, and I am about 40 years older than anybody in that class. But they have a song that's for you next to the last song where it's a really good pop song that's light. But I meditate during that song. And what I do is I start at the top of my head and I get rid of anything red. Does that make sense?
Yep.
So I go all the way through my body, my arms, all the way through my legs, stomach, all the way through my toes, and get rid of anything that's I feel is red, like anger or guilt or fear, right? And then I go back and I replace it with blue because that's my favorite color, royal
Ditto.
blue. So I start at the top of my head, all the way through my eyes, my mouth, my neck, my arms, my chest, stomach, waist, legs, feet, and I make sure it's blue. And by the end of that song, I'm reset, and I breathe while I'm doing it. I mean, like breathe the good in all the way, then out. Does that
Like
make sense?
cleansing breaths.
Yeah, cleansing breath. How do you do it, Carcass?
Well, I shut all the media down. I get it as quiet as possible, and I
I
put
just
my
ran my chihuahua off. I freaked her out. I think I ran my chihuahua off. He was sitting in my lap, and I think I freaked him out. Go
well,
ahead.
I just put the basically I try to get as quiet as I can, because I think that the world is so noisy that we don't sometimes hear or see the answer clearly. And I try to put myself in a position where I'm not distracted, and being being in silence helps. In fact, we've talked about this idea of being mindful as we communicate to others, and looking people in the eye and actually listening to what they're saying. I think that's part of being mindful. And I think
Yeah,
that when we have to do that with ourselves, everything we've talked about not only applies to others, but it applies to us too, individually. And I think the better we get at doing those basic things, the more we'll be able to help those around us.
it's called the number one listening skill is called effective listening. But that's where you really it's like a muscle. Listening is like a muscle. You have to work it and use it for it to work for you. And I always like to go back to people, and I was telling my little niece this last night at the dinner table. If you want to talk about what kind of discussion you need to have with somebody or the objective of a conversation, go to How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. Second best book ever written after the Bible. Old book, but he talks about, like if you don't want to, if you want to gather honey, don't kick over the beehive. You want to gather honey out of somebody, gather it, but go to them and focus on them while they're talking. I mean, really engage with them and ask them questions about themselves. That's the whole central theme of the book, How to Win Friends and Influence People, is it's true. People really don't give a damn about you. They give a damn about themselves. And until you acknowledge that, you're going to be getting your feelings hurt a lot or wasting a lot of time. But that's what it's about, talking to people, discovering who, what, when, where, why about them while they're talking to you.
Well, it's the difference between listening to someone and hearing somebody.
Yeah.
I hear
That's
the
right.
words that are coming out of your mouth, but am I listening? Am I processing what those words mean and how they're being delivered?
Yeah.
That's
If you
how
throw
you.
little tidbits in when you're talking to somebody, God, that I could imagine how you felt when all that was going on. What were you thinking? Then they know you're listening to them.
Mm-hmm.
I think that you have to practice that. I do, because
Absolutely.
I've got so much going on in a day. It's like, oh my God, multitask. I got to go. Okay, lawyer comes in my office, sits down, and has a question. I focus on them, and give them my undivided attention, and try to remain uncritical.
Boy,
Don't criticize.
that's you just hit on something right there. You just struck a nerve.
Yeah, you can't be critical. If you want people growing, you can't. Uh, anyways, I think listening is 60% of it. But I was researching today because I think this is a interesting subject. Different things that you can be mindful of, like your eating habits. What are you eating? Are you eating good food?
Well, I will tell you this, being back in the gym, the muscle memory is there. The reps are done correctly, but the muscle endurance isn't. And I've realized that it's more about what you've eaten and not about how much you've exercised.
Oh yeah, it's 80% of it, dog.
And so I'm learning new lessons, but I'm comboing. I'm learning how to figure out that careful
80
balance.
20 rule.
Yeah,
80 20.
I'm being mindful of my body's. I'm not 45 anymore. I'm 65, which is It's old. I remember when my grandparents were 65. And it just doesn't seem possible. But now I'm very mindful of the fact that I have a different path in front of me. And I can lament it, or I can just not say anything to anybody about it. But I'm going to ask questions because I want to get better at this. I'm not done.
Mindful eating, mindful walking, mindful commuting, mindful coloring, mindful fishing. Mindful to me, I got to be mindful of having fun. I got one of my baby lawyers went to Hawaii this week, and he felt so bad. He's like, "Oh, I can't believe I got to go to Hawaii. I don't like vacations. It's this." Sounded just like I did when I was a baby lawyer. Oh, this is a waste of time. We could be doing this. I said, "Dude, I got a challenge for you." He said, "What?" I said, "You need to be MVP of your vacation." He looked at me and he said, "What are you talking about?" I go, "You need to be scheduling things for you and your wife to have fun in Hawaii. Surprise her with things to have fun. Be the life of the party. Put all this stuff away. Go. Don't do like I did. I didn't do that. I was, okay, how much time are you going to need from me? 2 weeks? A week? I now look forward to when we go to Greece every year. The 2 weeks in Greece, dude, I lay it down. I mean, I'm MVP. Come on, kids, let's go.
Well, doesn't that confidence see, I used to be kind of the same way where I didn't want to leave because I knew when I came back it would be a mess.
Yeah.
But I had confidence in myself that I could at least lay out a plan that someone else could follow, and I could put my mind in a different place. And sometimes it was good and sometimes it wasn't. And but that's life. But you've got to check out every now and then, because all work and no play makes you a very, very sad and dull person.
Oh yeah. That was me.
Well, you're
It's
much different. I'll be honest with you, and this is no criticism of you, but you are not the same person that you are today. You're way better than you were.
Oh, good. Thank you.
No, I'm serious. You were a very different person back then. I'm sure I'm very different than I was 20 years ago when we first met, or however long ago it was. But that's good. That's a good thing. And it's a good thing if you can see a trend upwards.
Right.
But you have to be mindful of the trend downward too.
Yeah, you do.
Like Tom Petty says, you can change your mind. You don't have to just follow that path and let life happen.
And that's okay. Changing your mind is okay.
Yeah. In fact, sometimes it's a good idea.
Okay. You ready to have some fun?
All right, let's do it.
24 ways to be mindful all day, every day.
Oh, gosh.
Ready?
Okay.
Stretch first thing in the morning. Doing some stretching and breathing right after you wake up in the morning will energize you and center you on the day ahead. Hey, I believe that if you do a little bit of stretching every day, especially when we get older, man, we got to get our body in that whole squat position and then touch your toes. You don't want to get all like you're bored walking. All right, here's one I don't do good. Number 2, drink water all day. Start with a glass at breakfast. They say because you didn't give your body water for 8 hours, first thing you need to do is drink water. I'm terrible at that.
You should drink nearly your body weight in water, or at least half your body weight.
Yeah. Chew your food slowly. Enjoy the texture and the taste. Dude, I plow through my food. First one, finished every time. That's because when I was growing up, we were lucky to have food on the table, dude. My brother used to tell me, "Hey, my mama put that plate of fried chicken out there on the table." He'd go, Hey, if you even try to grab that drumstick, I'm gonna kick your. I'm like, dog, you can have it. I'll eat the chicken liver. Number 4, write down your top 3 priorities of the day. I do mine a little bit different than that. I have a thick book that I write. Okay, I got to get this done today. And our good producer Mark helped me get one of those done today. That's our website's up for my new firm. That's cool. Listen to music is number 5. Carcass.
Guess what I do a lot of?
You listen to music.
Yes, sir.
Journal. We've had a show on journaling. Everybody knows how to journal. If you journal, you will manage your emotions the way you're living your life. Got it?
So I was speaking to that. Think about this. I taught the adult Sunday school class on Sunday, and we were talking about how do we understand and share the scriptures. But think about what the scriptures are. What are they? They're a record. They're a journal.
Yeah, they're a journal.
People.
The historian.
Yeah. Letters to the Corinthians. They're journal entries with some really interesting stories.
Well, Paul wrote his letters in prison.
Right.
You know, I think this
journaling's great.
Okay, here's number 7. You ready?
I'm ready.
Ask yourself what's working right now. Something's got to be going right for you.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I'm not.
Here's one, number 8. Number 8 is breathe deeply. Like that, dog. Hey, carcass.
Just like when I'm pushing out that last rep.
All right. I like this. Put your phone in airplane mode when you're in meetings. I like that. What does airplane mode do, Carcass?
It means they can still leave a message. They can still send you a text. But guess what? You don't hear about it. No noise.
I like that. It was off. There's one down here that's going to even be cooler. Slow down, number 10. If you take a moment to stop and smell the roses, you'll have more appreciation. I believe that. I like to sit back on the porch with my wife every morning or sit by the fire and start my day that way. Practice. Number 11.
Unknown caller.
Practice. Hold on, dog. Don't you love that music? Hey, practice transformational listening. Listening without an agenda builds relationships that make life sweet, as opposed to transactional listening. That makes sense. Stretch and move often.
I got a watch that reminds me constantly to move.
Sitting is the new smoking.
Yep.
You're training your body not to move, dude. And then you're training it like that.
I want you to know. I want you to know and the audience to know that I invested in a smart watch, and I'm doing air quotes, but I hit 23,000 steps the other day. I was pretty proud of that. I was moving.
That's rolling, man.
I was moving and grooving.
You one of them guys walking on the side of the road that looks like he ain't got a home?
No, I thought, hey, I trimmed my beard up this week. I wanted to look good for the camera.
Oh, that's awesome. Go out for lunch. I don't ever do that. And nobody that works for me ever does that. I need to take everyone out for lunch.
That would be a great idea.
I need to do that.
But could you consider going out for lunch if you just took a bag lunch and went out and sat in the park and ate lunch?
Or I could even do it outside there. Yeah, we got a little park area at our building.
You don't have to go to a restaurant and spend money. You got plenty of nature little areas by your office.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Get outside. That's what Reverend's always saying. Got to get outside, man. You got to do something outside.
Yep, I
Tell
agree.
someone how much you appreciate them. Be specific. It may be the first time anyone's ever shared a compliment with them. Number 16, notice what time frame your mind is in. Oh, this is good. If it's in the past or future, gently bring it back to the present. Dog, I wake up every night at 3 o'clock in the morning with my mind running on everything I got to do. You know, I got to come back to the present.
Remember my geometry teacher, Miss Peterson? She
Uh
used to point at me and she used to say, "Come back, John. I know your mind is on thinking about that big shot you hit in that game the other day, but come on back. We're here in geometry. We're here now. So come back."
Oh, I love
I'm
that.
gonna start doing that to you. When you start getting off track, I'm gonna say,
Come on back.
"Right, come on back."
Come on back. Oh my God. Eat fresh whole foods. I believe in that. I like to eat fish now. Dude, I can barely eat chicken. So I was out looking at some property the other weekend because, I like real estate. And I took my wife out to this place. It's out by Winsboro. And I'm like, she goes, "Oh, it's pretty out here." I said, "Yeah, it is pretty." I said, what is that farms over there? They had these big metal barn looking things, long barns with fans at the end of them. And they had these big, like, feeder things on the side of it. She goes, "Those are chicken farms." I said, "Get out of here. No nasty chicken farm." You ever seen them chicken trucks?
Yeah.
Where those poor chickens look like they just, oh.
Well, they're not free
I,
range. I always buy free range eggs, chickens. I try to
now, what's the difference?
minimize
You
the
think,
meat.
you think they're going to separate a truck chicken from a free range chicken?
No, but I'd like to think so. I'm mindful of the fact that they should. And if
Okay,
the
good.
label says it, then I have to believe them.
I can't eat chicken anymore, dude. I can't eat it. Oh my God. Question your assumptions. Expand and challenge the way you look at people and situations. Dude, that's hard for me, but I'm learning. You know why? I live in this box. And when someone got me out of this box, I'd have to go, no, let's come back down off in here in this box. I'm learning. I'm learning. I'm learning. I don't care whether two guys love each other or two women love each other. I don't care.
It's not your choice.
No, I love them anyways. Call an old friend. We did that. Remember, we had a whole show on that. How
Yep.
Reverend was talking about calling old friends. Move your body in a mindful way for at least 30 minutes. I do that on the spin bike. We're on number 21, Carcass. Put your phone in a drawer for at least a couple of hours when you get home each evening. My wife makes me leave the phone at 7. I still got it because she's out eating with a bunch of people. But she doesn't let me bring it up at 7. She watches the phone at 7. If something happens that she thinks I need to be aware of, she'll come get me. But dude, a buddy of mine, lawyer, sent me a picture the other day. He was at El Phoenix Friday night. And there was this picture he sent of 6 people in a family having dinner. They had headphones on.
And
They
everyone was
were
like
looking
this.
at the screens.
Everyone's
And
like
they
this.
didn't say one word to each other. And they ordered, that was it. They're going to be the death of us. These
Yeah.
phones are going to be the death of us. Write a personal note on paper to say thanks, or I love you, or I support you. Take time each day to reflect on why you're here. Celebrate one thing you did today that served that very purpose. Get a good night's sleep. Keep your smartphone and tablet out of your bedroom. Isn't that the damn truth? Oh man, mine will start at 4 o'clock in the morning. Boing, boing, boing.
Well, I've been asked why I have so many alarm clocks around my house because I don't have to rely on my phone. Phone goes silent. If I need to wake up, I use a regular old alarm clock.
You know, there's an old saying I like to say all the time about the river of life. If you're in my boat, you need to pick up an oar and row and look forward.
Yep.
Don't look back. You can't look back.
Well, the farmers in Nebraska used to, when I was bucking bales of hay, I would say, how are you able to cut such a straight line? They said, we never look behind us. We only look forward. We follow that point in front of us.
Is
So
that
the
the
minute
truth?
you look behind you, the minute you're going to go crooked. And you
Right.
know what? 43 years of mowing grass. And if I did that, if I looked forward, I always cut straight lines, just like on those football fields when you see on TV. I agree with that.
You got to stay present, but you have to look forward. You can't look back. That's where people get in trouble on Facebook when they start communicating with old high school girlfriends and all that kind of stuff or whatever.
Don't take the cheese.
Don't eat the cheese, man. Don't look back. Look forward. How was that for mindfulness, Carcass?
I think that works. Hopefully, everyone else out there got a little something out of that. I think I'm going to blow up some of these things and maybe break them out on my journal. See what that looks like in a few years.
Man, I have to journal all the time, man. If I get upset with somebody, I gotta journal on it because you know why? I feel blank when something happens. I feel blank when something happens. I feel blank. And then how are you going to counter that with your 1 through 12 at the top? Mine, I get angry when somebody manipulates me or someone tries to play me.
Mm-hmm.
And I get pissed. And I have to learn to stay not in the child part of my brain, but in the mature part of my brain. And let it go. You know?
That's a challenge.
Oh, listen to this. Here's a quote for today. You ready?
Okay.
Mindset. The driving force in the quest for success and achievement. A mindset that combines discipline, strength, confidence, and ambition is a powerful mindset. This can achieve anything it sets its sights on. A powerful mind can achieve anything. I love that. You know what? Because you don't have doubt. You don't have fear that comes in there.
Well, what do they say? If ye are prepared, ye shall not fear.
Well, you know what? Timothy 2:17 is my favorite scripture. God doesn't want you to feel the spirit of fear. He wants you to feel power, love, and sound mind.
But it's a combination of all those items that you just mentioned: discipline, strength, confidence, and ambition. And that all will develop. All that'll wade right through fear.
Discipline.
Yep.
I don't drink. I don't drug. I could
You don't take the cheese.
I'm doing better. Don't eat the cheese.
Don't eat the cheese. Stay off your phone. I hope you don't get in trouble because you just admitted you still got your phone and your wife's, I know, out doing her thing, but she's going to call you, catch you with that phone.
7:35. I got 35 minutes I owe her on it.
Yep.
Anyways, there's the other one I live by, which is DBAP that I teach these kids. That's for another show.
Yep.
Carcass, I love you, man. I know you lost your friend. I lost a friend this week too. Donnie was a good, funny guy who could not stop drinking. God bless him.
Well, I wish that there was a reason, but Joe Copeland was a dear friend. He was a missionary companion, known him for 50 plus years. He He had the most aggressive form of multiple sclerosis that was supposed to take a person out. Any normal person would have been gone in 2 to 3 years after the diagnosis. And he started his 32nd year, and he's superhuman from a physical aspect. He was an
That's
amazing guy. And he did a lot.
He has the mindset.
He did a lot despite his disability. And it wasn't really a disability. It was just another hurdle he had to jump over. And he did it well. And, you know, much love to his wife and family. He leaves behind a solid wife. His sons are great people, and it's really tragic. It's a mixed bag because I'm glad he's not suffering, but you know, he's not. I won't get to on those trips to Utah. I won't get to see him, and it's sad. I'm not gonna lie.
Hey, Carcass, I want you to do me a favor. If I go first, I want you to just laugh, dude. Huh?
Well, see,
there's no ticket to stay here.
See, look, Brett. See,
He's so artsy, fartsy, and creative.
I believe in certain things, and I'll be mad that you go first. You know why? Because you're going to go up there and you're going to see Jimi Hendrix, and you're going to see Lemmy from Motorhead, and you're going to see Stevie Ray Vaughan, and you're going to go there and listen to him play, and I'm going to be jealous because I never got to see Hendrix. And but you're going to be up there, and you're going to be up there. You know what? You're going to be up there with my kid, and I'm going to be a little jealous. So, but you know I'm going to have a good laugh.
Yeah, there you go. You better. And then put on the Rolling Stones song, "Start Me Up."
You're going to make a grown man cry.
Start me up. All right, you guys have a great night. We love you. Thank you, Carcass. You're awesome.
You're awesome too, Brett. We'll see you next time.
All right, babe.
Ready? Bye.